Welcome to the stream. Let me know your questions ahead of the next deadline. Please let me know if the sound is all right, if it's too low or too loud. Also, let me know if the music is fine as well. Welcome to the stream. Let me know your questions ahead of the next deadline. Please let me know if the sound is all right, too low or too loud. Also, let me know fine as well. FPL FOMO, thanks for joining in. Sound is okay, no background music that I can hear. Hmm. FPL FOMO, thanks for joining in. Sound is okay, no background music. Yeah, that's fine. Have you made any transfers ahead of double game week 25 FOMO? What's your moves? I actually made 2 transfers. Sold Sanchez to bring in Martinez, and I also changed my assistant manager from David Moyes to Unai Emery. Triple up on both Aston Villa and Liverpool. Hopefully the points will come in double game week 25 as well. Triple up on both Aston Villa and Liverpool. Hopefully points will come in double game week. Need to find out if Gakpo and Watkins are fit. Yeah, I think that a lot, especially when it comes to Watkins, a lot of managers are waiting for updates on his fitness. I've also been tempted to sell Alexander Isak, to be honest, to bring in Watkins. The first fixture against Ipswich looks so good on paper, but I think that, especially when we consider Man City's form, that Alexander Isak probably has the potential to do well in double game week 25 as well. So I think I'll just stick with Alexander Isak. But of course, Watkins, a really good option this week if he is confirmed to be fit. When it comes to Gakpo, I think that at the moment he is just a keep for the ones that already have him in their team, but wouldn't necessarily advise anyone to buy him. Not sure if we will get any concrete news ahead of the deadline. Hopefully we can get something tomorrow though. My current 3 forwards, Watkins, Gakpo. So we already have Watkins in your team. You have Isak as well. in your team selection page. That must look so satisfying seeing all those fixtures. I will have Gakpo at the moment. I will definitely just keep him and play him this game week. I think when it comes to Watkins and Gakpo, there, of course, we're not sure, but there is probably a slight risk that they will miss out in the first game. But they will probably play the second game. I think actually that both of them will play, but we'll have to wait for more news tomorrow. I wouldn't use a transfer on transferring them out unless we get news that they are definitely ruled out for the first game in the next game week. Salah is the bookie's favorite for anytime goal scorer in the whole game week 25. Actually, it's the highest this season, 73%. I think that in double game week 24 it was like 64 or something, but the bookies, they are convinced after his performance in double game week 25. So Mo Salah 73. Watkins is second with 66 and Jota third with 63% chance of a goal. No surprise to see Liverpool. They are the bookies' favorites when it comes to clean sheets. Aston Villa is second and Arsenal is third. So hopefully Trent will start both matches. Good news for Trent owners. I know that he was a big doubt ahead of the game yesterday against Everton, but he played 30 minutes, looked good. So hopefully he will start against Wolves this weekend. So, as you mentioned, FPL FOMO, I have Gakpo as well. Hopefully, he will play. I have Gordon in my team. He is yellow flagged, so really hoping that he is fit to start. Not the strongest bench for me. I will probably have Anderson coming in. So, not the best option. So, hopefully, Gordon will play. I think that actually the Man City game is a decent fixture for Newcastle. They can hit them on the counter. We know that Man City, they will probably have a lot of possession as always, but I think that Newcastle actually they have the potential to do well, especially their attacking assets like Gordon and Isak. Will have Hall on my bench. I think that Man City will score, so keeping Lewis Hall on my bench. Five free transfers. Nice. I've only managed to have five free transfers at one point so far this season. Not sure if I will get it again. I will probably use my free transfers, especially if I go for my chip strategy with the free hit in blank game week 29 and then use my transfers to navigate the blank game week 34. So if I use my free hit in blank game week 29, I will probably have a decent team for double game week 33, as this means that the free hit in blank game week 29 means that I will just keep my triple up on Newcastle, which sets me up for a good start in double game week 33. We know that Newcastle, they will have most probably a double game week, one of the most secure games in double game week 33, so hopefully the Newcastle boys can keep on delivering. You know what I mean? If you have 5 free transfers and no transfers that really stands out, it's kind of annoying. I haven't really had this feeling this season, to be honest, after the rule change of going from 2 free transfers to 5 free transfers. Would probably try to find something, maybe change one of my bench players, something like that, just not to waste one of the free transfers. Probably going to transfer Gordon to Django and bench him unless I get any injuries. Yeah, it makes sense to bring in a Bournemouth midfielder. If I had more free transfers, I would probably try to get one of the Bournemouth mids myself, but will not make that transfer for a hit. So unless we get a confirmation that Gordon is definitely ruled out for double game week 25, then I will probably be tempted to take a -4 to change him, but if you don't get the confirmation, I'll probably just keep Gordon and hope that he will play. My plan for the next couple of game weeks is probably to do something with Joao Pedro. Will be interesting to see this game week if he plays 90 minutes or even if he starts. There are some rumors about Joao Pedro saying that he has had an argument with Hurstler, that he has actually lost his spot. I'm not sure if this is the case. Actually, I think that he will start. I watched the last 5 Brighton games, and Joao Pedro is definitely their best player, most creative, and their biggest threat. So I think that he probably will start and play most minutes if he's still fit. But there is a slight worry about Joao Pedro. My plan will probably be to try to navigate Joao Pedro and maybe even Trent out of my team to free up some funds. We know that Liverpool will not, or most probably not, have any more double game weeks. So I'm really tempted to target Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, especially Crystal Palace. If I bring in Crystal Palace players, then I'm if I bring in Crystal Palace players, then I have to go for the free hit strategy in blank game week 29. Players from Palace that could be interesting is, of course, Munoz in defense, really attacking, decent fixtures as well, and Mateta in for João Pedro. Would probably be a really good transfer for those on rehit in game week 29. So Trent and João Pedro to Munoz and Mateta will probably be something I'll consider in the next couple of game weeks. Will probably the downgrade from Trent to Munoz will probably give enough funds for me to upgrade Buonanotte as well. Maybe to Bournemouth mid, that would be ideal. I haven't really looked into it that much, but that's my plan for the next game week. Unless, of course, we get any new injuries during double game week 25. There will be some interesting press conferences tomorrow, to be honest. I got 113 points in double game week 24. Actually gave me a small red arrow. Really satisfying seeing Tarkovsky score that late goal yesterday against Liverpool, of course, as a Moyes owner. So 22 points from David Moyes. Went really well. Of course, the Salah triple captainers were the winners, but I think that taking a punt on David Moyes worked well. Hopefully, Emery can do something in game week 25. Really good fixture, that first one against Ipswich. I know that Aston Villa, compared to last season, haven't been up to their standards, but especially at home, they have been decent. So hopefully, they have a solid win against Ipswich. And as with Everton yesterday, hopefully, they can get something against Liverpool as well. It's been over 2 weeks since my last live live session. Feels like forever. Double game week 24 lasted for what felt like a month, but only 20 hours until the next deadline. Thing is, ahead of double game week 24, I was actually away with work, so didn't have the opportunity to do a Q&A or deadline stream ahead of the last game week. But of course, this game week I'll do a Q&A tonight. Quick, short Q&A tonight will probably go on for around 40 minutes. So just made the graphics mostly to be ready for the deadline tomorrow. We'll go live a couple of hours before the deadline and we will have more information. Hopefully, we will have more information. And of course, hopefully we'll get some good news, especially considering Gakpo, of course, and Gordon as well. Watkins, I'm not sure what I'm hoping for, to be honest. I've made a decision that I will go with Alexander Isak, so I think that Watkins is a really good option for those who have him or have an easy way to get him into their team without selling Isak. So I guess that I'm hoping that he will miss one of the games. I don't think that the captaincy for double game week 25 is that hard. Especially for my team, no Watkins for me, so Mo Salah, he will be my captain. But to be honest, if we have Watkins and if we get confirmation that he is fit to play against Ipswich next game week, that I would probably consider captaining him, especially if you're not satisfied with your rank or need to be a bit aggressive. So Watkins is potential captain candidate if he is confirmed to be fit. Problem is, of course, if you captain Watkins and he misses the fixture against Ipswich, then you would probably not captain Watkins if he had a game against Liverpool, right? So I would only consider Watkins if he is confirmed to be fit. Arsenal, they are one of the favorites to keep a clean sheet. Playing against Leicester away. Gabriel will start for me. Kai Havertz confirmed to be out for several weeks. Will be interesting to see how Arsenal react. Of course, yesterday, the draw against Everton and Liverpool, that was a really good fixture for Arsenal. I've seen a lot of talk about Waneri, 4.5. Will probably get more minutes going forward, but I would like to see some more from Waneri before bringing him in. As mentioned, one of my transfer plans is to try to get a couple of Palace assets. Trent and Joe Pedro might make way for Munoz and Mateta. Uh, if I can't afford to upgrade Bonanote to one of the Bournemouth mids, then one area will probably be coming in for me in the next couple of game weeks. I could see Watkins being benched for Ipswich and start against Liverpool, but I will just hope he starts both. Yeah. Of course, there is a risk that he is rested for the easiest fixture to be ready against Liverpool, of course. I was a bit surprised. I was a bit surprised to see Duran leave Aston Villa. To be honest, of course, it made Watkins a better option. At some point and around Christmas, we knew that there would be some rotation, but seeing Duran starting 2 games back to back while Watkins being on the bench was kind of a surprise. But I think that Aston Villa, when they got the offer, they just had to accept it due to the amount of money, of course. Not sure what Aston Villa would do if Watkins gets a long-term injury, seeing that they have the Champions League fixtures as well. I think that they probably will struggle if they get more injuries to key players. So we know that Konsa is already injured and will not play against Ipswich. So I'm not too confident when it comes to my Aston Villa players. I just talked about Emery. I think that the Ipswich fixture is a good one. And of course, as we saw with Everton, as mentioned, they might get something against Liverpool, but my goalkeeper Martinez, I'm not too confident to be honest, but I just had to solve the problem with my goalkeepers. I have both Fabianski and Sanchez. I think that Sanchez, after Maresca's comments, Sanchez will probably be benched again in double game week 25. So taking a punt and tripling up on Aston Villa was my answer to solve the problem with my goalkeepers. So hopefully he can keep a clean sheet against Ipswich. Not expecting a clean sheet against Liverpool, but Martinez can hopefully get some save points. I think that in double game week 25, Mo Salah's ownership will can potentially go over 200 again. I'm not really sure how many triple captains will be played. I think that a lot of engaged FPL managers played their triple captain in game week 2, game week 3 on Holland. Of course, he did well in those weeks. Over 1 million managers triple captain Salah in double game week 24. I think that a lot of engaged managers have their assistant manager chip activated. They activated it in the last game week, so they will not be able to cancel it and play the triple captainship. But Mo Salah, he will be heavily captained, and I think that he probably will be close to 200% effective ownership this game week as well. He did better than I thought. Of course, the fixtures, we knew that the fixture against Bournemouth and Everton, we knew that those fixtures probably were a bit harder than it looks on paper. Bournemouth, really good form, and Everton have had a strong defensive record at home, but I think that Mo Salah probably did a bit better than expected. So I think that the triple captainers were a bit lucky, but course, this season he has been really, really good. So captaining Mo Salah in a double game week, even though the fixtures were not the best, is of course a great decision. If I hadn't activated my assistant manager chip, I would have triple captained Salah. The thing is that the back-to-back double game weeks made me activate the assistant manager chip. It's not too often we get 2 consecutive double game weeks, so I just thought that getting 5 fixtures out of the assistant manager chip was too tempting, so that's the reason why I activated it and went for David Moyes. My plan was actually to play the assistant manager chip in game week 31 to take advantage of double game week 33. So the plan is changed, and my triple captainship will be played in double game week 33. Will probably be on Alexander Isak. So I'm really hoping that he can stay fit and that he can keep up his good form. He did well in the FA Cup. I'm sorry, he did well against Arsenal in the EFL Cup. Newcastle, they beat Arsenal, so they reached the final and will play Liverpool in game week 29. And this is the reason why game week 29 is a blank. It's the same date as the games in game week 29. So Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and Newcastle will blank. The Liverpool Aston Villa fixture has already been rescheduled and is actually played next game week, and this is the reason why game week 25 is a double game week. The announcement of double game week 25 was kind of short notice, but of course a lot of managers already had Rodgers in their squad. I think that for those who went with David Moyes, I think that bringing in Emery this game week makes sense. Of course, Everton, they can do well next game week as well, but just like taking advantage of a double game week and seeing that the first fixture is against Ipswich at home, it makes sense to swap to Emery, even though I know that transfers are valuable as well, but I think that going from Moyes to Emery probably is worth a transfer. Clifford is the most transferred in player ahead of double game week 25. Over 600,000 new managers, new owners for Clifford, of course. Makes sense. Good fixture. Bournemouth, they are in form, and Clifford, he is on penalties as well. Rodgers with a double game week is the second most transferred in. And Chris Wood, my nemesis this season, he is the third most transferred in player ahead of the next game week. The thing is that Chris Wood, of course, in hindsight, should have gone for Chris Wood in game week 6. but I will probably not transfer him in the next couple of game weeks. My main priority would be to sell Joao Pedro and bring in Mateta. So I will probably have Chris Wood this season, and the funny thing is that this will probably be on a free hit. So Chris Wood against Fulham, 320 new owners, 320k new owners for him. Gordon, most sold player. Don't mention that's a deal. Actually, I think that at some point it's actually I transferred him out game with it. Yeah, this is something I read a lot on X as well. I didn't transfer him out, but I was really close to bringing in game week 6 myself. But yeah, let's talk about something else. Chris Wood, my nemesis. I think that this season will be a season I will remember for that certain player. Ahmad is the second most sold player, and Lewis Hall 215 sells ahead of the next game week. I think that if you have no I think that Lewis Hall is fine to just have on your bench this game week. To be honest, decent fixtures coming up, nailed on for Newcastle, on some set pieces as well. I will be getting Wood back for 29, I think. Yeah, good fixture in game week 29. I had a look at some potential free hit drafts, and Chris Wood will definitely be in my free hit team for blank game week 29. The thing is, if I don't get Chris Wood on a free hit, I actually like taking some punts on a free hit, but if I avoid Chris Wood for blank game week 29, that he will probably just nullify all my other differential picks because his ownership is getting so high at the moment. So we'll probably have Chris Wood on a free hit just to more like a shield pick for me in blank game week 29. Manish triple captain Salah. It makes sense if you still have your triple captain and if you haven't activated your assistant managership. I would really consider triple captaining Mo Salah for double game week 25. Decent fixture at home against Wolves, and actually I think that the fixture against Aston Villa is not the worst for Liverpool. But as we saw in double game week 24, Liverpool, they were said to have really tough fixtures, an in-form Bournemouth and a defensively solid Everton. But yeah, Mo Salah, he did pretty well. This is the stats for Mo Salah's opponents in double game week 25. As mentioned, it's Wolves and Aston Villa. Excuse me. On the left-hand side, it's Wolves stats. Kept one clean sheet, conceded 7 goals, 11 big chances conceded, 17 shots on target, and they have an expected goal of 6.76 in their last 4 games. So really, really similar stats to Aston Villa. They also kept 1 clean sheet, conceded 5 goals, 13 big chances, 16 shots on target. And Aston Villa a bit better when it comes to expected goals conceded, 5.41. So really mediocre stats from both Wolves and Aston Villa. So they're ranked around like 7th to 14th when it comes to their defensive stats. So not that bad, not really good. I think that Liverpool can do well. So I would go for triple captaincy if I have the option. Let's take a look at Watkins. I will probably not have Watkins. Talked about this 10 minutes ago. I will most probably just keep Alexander Isak, play him against Man City. But if you have Watkins, or if you have plans to bring him in, I think that he should be in consideration for the captaincy, especially if we get some positive news from Emery about his fitness, if he is confirmed to be fit. I think that he is a decent captain option. So Ipswich, they have kept 0 clean sheets in the last 4 game weeks. Actually, they are the team that have conceded the most goals, 14 goals. But when we take a look at expected goals conceded, they have been a bit unlucky because their expected goals conceded is only, it's not a, it's a good stats. It's still one of the worst in the expected goals conceded category. But when we compare 6.89 to 14, we can say that Ipswich probably have been a bit unlucky to concede 14 goals in their last 4 game weeks. And big chances conceded, Ipswich have 10. Liverpool actually have close to Ipswich numbers with 7. Shots on target, Ipswich 24 and Liverpool 15. So, of course, Liverpool, they are one of the most solid defensive teams. So, maybe unfair to compare them to Ipswich. But, of course, these are the fixtures for Watkins in double game week 25. So, to summarize, I think that if you have Watkins and if he's confirmed to start, if you want to take a punt, of course, I think that Mo Salah's ownership, effective ownership, probably will be close to 200%. So there is, of course, a big, big risk in not captaining Mo Salah next game week. But if he outscores, if Watkins outscores Salah, it could be really, really huge when it comes to rank. So as mentioned, Mo Salah, he will be my captain for double game week 25. My transfers, I have sold Sanchez. I had a goalkeeper problem with both Sanchez and Fabianski in my team. So I sold Sanchez to bring in Martinez. Took a punt on Martinez because of the double game week. Hopefully he can do something against Ipswich, and hopefully Aston Villa can hopefully get a draw against Liverpool, as we saw with Everton yesterday. So Martinez in. I already have Rodgers, and my second transfer is my assistant manager where I sold David Moyes. Really satisfied with David Moyes. 22 points from him in double game week 24, but I have sold him to make room for Unai Emery because of the double game week. So triple up on Aston Villa, triple up hopefully on Liverpool if Gakpo is fit to play. There will be some interesting press conferences tomorrow. I will be following them closely, and I will have a deadline stream tomorrow. We'll start a couple of hours before the deadline, so if you're interested, please go and join my deadline stream tomorrow. That will be really appreciated. So thanks for joining in. Hopefully, I will see you tomorrow. If not, best of luck for double game week 25.